Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan, and in this video I'll be breaking down the upcoming lightweight blockbuster fight in the UFC, which is the trilogy fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. What a great fight, very fun, and it's going to have a lot of attention on it. Conor McGregor is of course probably the biggest combat sport star in all of combat sports, boxing, MMA, anything. I think the only person kind of comparable is Canelo Alvarez, and I think Conor McGregor definitely draws a lot more attention than Canelo Alvarez. And he fights Dustin Poirier, who's a superstar in his own right, and I think he's paved himself a legacy as one of the top 10, top 15 best lightweights of all time. It's a very fun fight, and this fight is very important for them to cap off their trilogy and move towards a title fight with Charles Oliveira. I think that's certainly what Dustin Poirier wants, because he's never actually held the undisputed title, and I think Conor McGregor would want to go for that as well, just to satisfy his competitive desires to win that belt back and maybe try to go Khabib Nurmagomedov out of retirement into another fight with him. But whether or not that happens, that remains to be seen. This fight is going to happen, and I can't wait for it. So without further ado, I'm going to break it down. Dustin Poirier is 32 years old, makes him the same age as Conor McGregor. Both, in the tail end of their physical primes, and I say that not because they're 32, but because they've been around for such a long time. 32 isn't old, I think it's relatively young, but where these both have been around for a long time, I do think it's going to start to pay. I think Dustin Poirier's look great, he still looks completely, in his prime, but Conor McGregor, with the inactivity and, recent losses now, loss of momentum, and loss of desire, he's very rich, he was very money motivated in 2015 when he was shooting up the rankings, so you do have to question what he's got left in the tank. But physically at 32 he obviously looks great, he's still in his physical prime, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Dustin Poirier has a professional record of 27 wins and 6 losses. Conor McGregor is 22-5. These are both superstar UFC pay-per-view main eventers. Experience isn't going to be an issue. They both stand at 5'9". Dustin Poirier has a 72-inch reach, and Conor McGregor has a 2-inch reach advantage with a 74-inch reach. So it's going to be interesting to see how he utilizes that, particularly where I think he shines in this fight in particular is his boxing. To describe their styles, I would say Dustin Poirier's become a bit of a brawler. He's got very heavy hands, and in his most recent fight with Conor McGregor, we saw the use of the low calf kicks, which is something he obviously adapted from Justin Gaethje. I think is a great addition to his game. Dustin Poirier can wrestle. We saw him take down Conor McGregor in his last fight, and I do actually think that he will take down Conor again. Just because Khabib was able to take down Dustin and dominate him on the ground doesn't mean he can't wrestle. Khabib can do that to anyone, so I don't think that says an awful lot from a negative perspective about Dustin Poirier's wrestling, more about a positive perspective about Khabib. Now, Conor McGregor, he's obviously a striker. He's got that boxing heavy stance more recently, but actually Conor McGregor at his best is a karate fighter who's light on his feet, throws a lot of great kicks, and I think that's what we're going to see more of in this fight. We know that Conor McGregor's been training his Muay Thai for this fight. He's been kind of trying to get used to checking kicks, and it's going to be interesting to see how he does in this fight. But where he shines, in my opinion, is his boxing, and when he's at his best, his range control with his kicks. Let's talk about some of the key wins. Now, Dustin Poirier's resume is great. Obviously, he's got a great resume at featherweight as well. But more recently, we're talking about wins over the likes of Conor McGregor himself, Dan Hooker, a top 10 UFC lightweight. He beat Eddie Alvarez, a former UFC and Bellator world champion. He beat Max Holloway not once but twice, the featherweight great. He's of course beaten Anthony Pettis, the former UFC lightweight champion. The list of his wins goes on and on. He's got a lot of great wins, and so does Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor holds wins over Dustin Poirier himself. He's of course beaten the likes of Chad Mendes. He beat Jose Aldo to cap off a great featherweight run. He beat Nate Diaz, and he beat Eddie Alvarez in his most spectacular performance. His most recent win come over Don Cerrone, but aged Don Cerrone, who hasn't won a fight in a long time. So I don't know how much that means, but I still respect it. It's still a good win over a good fighter, but it's not necessarily a key win at this point. The issues for Dustin Poirier is going to be, if he comes in and gets involved in the boxing, if he comes in overconfident, and he's just expecting to be able to walk through Conor McGregor with the kicks and boxing and doesn't respect his power again, that could be an issue. And his chin. I think Dustin Poirier is very durable, but he's shown his chin to be a bit susceptible at times. Now, the two ain't necessarily the same. A chin is more your ability to take one shot. Durability is your ability to take accumulated damage before quitting. I don't think Dustin Poirier is a quitter. His chin may give out, i.e. like the Michael Johnson fight, or even the previous Conor McGregor fight. We've seen him get rocked, so interesting. For Conor McGregor, the biggest issue coming into this fight is going to be the leg kicks, how he deals with the leg kicks, and And the cardio, I think that's always an issue with Conor McGregor. Even if he does survive the early storm from Dustin Poirier and the leg kicks, as the fight goes on, how's his cardio going to hold up? And that's going to be something that I'm very interested to see. The X factor for Dustin Poirier will be his kicks and the power in his boxing, which Conor McGregor now must respect. And for Conor McGregor, the X factor is going to be his game plan. What is he going to come in with? Are we going to see something different? And his punching power in his own right. He's got big power. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier himself before, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Anyways, let's go into this and let's predict this fight. So, this is a fight that I think will be fought on the feet. I think whilst Dustin Poirier has the ability to take down Conor McGregor, and we saw that in the second fight, I think he's going to want to come out and handle it on the feet because he's going to have the confidence that he can handle it on the feet, and we know that he can. I think Conor McGregor is going to be prepared for the wrestling anyways, and I think Conor McGregor is actually pretty hard to take down. You know, Khabib had to kind of work to take him down that first takedown, and then he started to get to takedowns as Conor McGregor got more fatigued. But Conor McGregor actually has pretty good defensive wrestling, which makes sense considering he spent his whole career defending takedowns so he can get off his power punches. That being said, I think this fight's going to be handled on the feet. On the feet, I think Conor McGregor is going to have made changes in this game. I think he's going to do well. And even when you look at the previous fight, I actually think Conor McGregor was winning the exchanges when it comes to the boxing. He just got clipped, he got tired. Dustin Poirier was able to absorb his best shots. The kicks had an impact, and it was all an accumulated performance. Now, Dustin Poirier is mentally a very, very strong fighter. He's not a fighter that's going to quit under pressure. He's going to put on pressure. He's going to hit you with hard shots, and he's going to keep coming. As long as he's standing, he's going to keep fighting. If you don't believe me, watch Justin Gaethje fight. I think Conor McGregor is going to come into the fight much more prepared, and I think he'll have a lot more success. I think he's going to defend, check some leg kicks, but I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier is at a stage in his career now with his boxing as well. He's learned how to absorb and roll with punches. He's learned how to be more defensively sound, and I think he's going to be wary of the Conor McGregor power anyways. He's also going to be fighting calm, which is not what he'd done in the first fight, where he tightened up, which is what got him caught and knocked out. So, as the fight goes on, I think Conor McGregor is going to have success early. I think Conor McGregor will probably win round 1 and 2, but as the fight gets deeper and deeper, Conor McGregor is going to find himself having to continuously check leg kicks, having to continuously try and win the boxing exchanges. Dustin Poirier has great conditioning, great cardio, and like I said, he's very durable. I also don't think that Conor McGregor gets the finish in this because I think he's learned how to protect his somewhat suspect chin Dustin has, and he's learned how to use his punching in the correct way to defend himself as well. So as the fight wears on and Conor McGregor slows down and he fatigues, which he historically has in every single fight we've had that's gone past sort of the 15-minute mark, I think Conor McGregor is going to slow down, but Dustin Poirier is going to come on harder, and what we're going to see is a late stoppage. Fight fans, I'm predicting Dustin Poirier gets a finish in this fight around round 4, round 5. Once again with his punches, he's going to set out with his kicks, but he's going to use his power and his boxing to get the finish. So officially, Dustin Poirier to get the win. Anyways, why don't you comment below? Let me know how you see this fight going. If you're new to the channel, remember to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Help me reach that 2K mark. Really struggling to get there, so I need your support. If you've gotten through to this video for this far, then help me out by subscribing to the channel. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.